Good morning, students. Today we are going to see another important grammar topic, direct and indirect speech. So there are two ways in which we can report what someone has said. One thing is direct speech. In direct speech, we reproduce the actual words of the speaker. The words of the speaker are put within inverted commas. See the example here. Bharat Kumar said, "My father is going to Mumbai tomorrow." So see here, in direct speech we are using comma, quotation, all such thing, and we are reproducing the original word of the speaker, what Bharat Kumar said. So in direct speech we are reproducing the original word of the speaker. At the same time, if we are seeing in indirect speech, we do not reproduce the actual word of the speaker. We report the speech after making some changes. So, see the example here. Bharat Kumar said that his father was going to Mumbai the next day. So, while seeing, if you take a comparison between direct speech and indirect speech, you could understand the difference in the formation of sentence. In the direct speech, we are reproducing the original word of the speaker, and what the speaker said is given within the inverted commas. But at the same time, in indirect speech, we made some changes. After making some changes alone, we reproduce what the speaker said. See the example here. Bharat Kumar said that his father. So here we are changing the personal pronoun and tense of the direct speech and the special word of the reported speech. So we made a few changes. After making some changes alone, we are reproducing the actual word of the speaker. So we can convey in two ways. One thing is direct speech and another one in the indirect speech. In direct speech, we can convey different types of conversation between someone. In indirect speech, we are reproducing the actual word of the speaker after making some changes. So in direct and indirect speech, we are having four types. Now we are going to see one by one. Before going to see the types, you should know how to change the personal pronoun. While you are changing direct speech into indirect speech, how could you change the personal pronoun? See here, in the direct speech, if you have the reported speech starts with I, means instead of I, you have to change he or she. So in the reported speech, after the quotation, this one is before the comma, we can tell reporting verb, and after in between the quotation we can tell reported speech. So while you are changing direct speech into indirect speech, you need to change the personal pronoun. Personal one thing, then second one, tense of the reported speech. Third one, the special word of the reported speech. So you should know how to change the personal pronoun, tense and special word in a proper manner. See here, in the direct speech, if you are having the personal pronoun I, while you are changing into indirect speech, it is changed into he or she. Next, my is changed into his or her. Me is changed into him or her. Mine is changed into his or her. Myself, himself or herself. We changed into they. Us changed into them. Our changed into their. Ourselves changed into themselves. So, these first person, I, my, me, mine, myself, we, us, ourselves, all these pronouns called first persons. Now we are going to see how we can change the second persons. Second, you. If you are using the you in a singular position, means you have to use the third person singular he or she. Or else if you are using the you in a plural position, means you have to use the pronoun they. Next, you changed into him, her. You are changed into their. You are changed into again his or her. you changed into them, them. So according to the nature of the sentence, according to the subject, you have to use any one of those pronouns. Next, yourself changed into himself, herself. Yourselves changed into themselves, themselves. Me changed into I. Again us. You changed into we. Again you changed into we. Then me changed into your, us. Then your changed into our. Me changed into you and us. Again you changed into us. Then me changed into yourself, us. Then yourself changed into ourselves. So you should know how to change the first person and second person personal pronouns in a proper manner in the direct speech into the indirect speech. Next, we are going to see the change of special words. So we need to change the special word also while you are changing the reported speech in indirect speech. So how could you change? See here, this is changed into that, these changed into those, here changed into there, now changed into then, thus changed into so or in that way, hereafter changed into thereafter, ago changed into before, hence changed into thence, today changed into that day, tonight changed into that night, tomorrow changed into the next day or the following day, yesterday changed into the day before or the previous day, last night the night before or the previous night, last week the week before, next week the week after or the following week, next month the month after, next year the year after, day after tomorrow, day after next day. So you have to change the special word like this manner. Students, I think you understand very well. While you are changing direct speech into indirect speech, you need to change the personal pronoun, tense of the reported speech and the special words also. So I gave the tabular column here for your reference. You should understand well how to change the personal pronoun in a proper manner, then how to change the special words also. Now we are going to see the first type, statement. I already told you while you are changing direct speech into indirect speech, you are having 4 types. Now we are going to see the first type, statements. So while you are changing the statement into indirect speech, you need to follow certain rules in a proper manner. Now we are going to see the rules. What is the first rule means? In statement, the reporting verb said to is changed into told. So in the reporting verb said to means while you are changing into indirect speech, said to is changed into told. Next, if the reporting verb is only said, if a reporting verb is only said alone means it may be kept as said. You keep the same reporting verb as said. Then we have to add the conjunction. So while we are changing the indirect speech, we need to use the conjunction. So in statement, we use the conjunction that. So conjunction word that has been used. Then change of personal pronoun. We need to, I already told you how the personal pronoun will be changed according to the subject. Then tense of the reported verb, reported speech, how the reported speech, the tense will be varied. Then special words. Special word is nothing but adverbs. So we need to change personal pronoun, tense and special words. And then we should remove commas, quotation marks and question mark in the direct speech. So we already discussed we need to change the tense. How the tense will be changed in direct, while change the direct speech into indirect speech. See here, changes of tenses. If in the reported speech in present tense, you should change it into simple past tense. If you change the indirect speech, the present tense is changed into past tense. Then present continuous tense changed into past continuous tense. Present perfect tense changed into past perfect tense. Present perfect continuous tense into changed into past perfect continuous tense. Then simple past tense changed into past perfect tense. Then past continuous changed into past perfect tense. If it is past perfect tense in the reported speech means you no need to change the tense. You keep the same tense in the indirect speech also. So you have to change the tenses in like this manner. Students, I believe you understand well. While you are changing direct speech into indirect speech in this particular type statement, you have to follow all these rules in a proper manner. Now we are going to see the example. See here, he said, I am happy now. So while you are changing direct speech into indirect speech, you need to concentrate. First you should understand where in the reported speech belongs to which type. So first you understand in the reported speech belongs to which type. See here, he said, I am happy now. So I am happy now belongs to which type? Simple present tense. So while you are changing into indirect speech, you change the same matter into past tense, simple past tense. So how could you change? He said that. I already told you we need to add the conjunction that. If the reporting verb said means in the indirect speech also we keep the same said. So he said that. I is changed into he. So he, I am happy now. Am is changed into was. So he was happy then. Now we is changed into then. So simple present tense changed into simple past tense in the indirect speech. So here we are adding the conjunction that, and we are changing the personal pronoun, and we are changing the tense of the direct speech and the special word of the direct speech. So you need to follow all these things in a proper manner. See the another example. The servant said, my master is writing letters. So in the reported speech in the present continuous tense. So how could you change? The servant said that. My is changed into his. His master is changed into was. His master was writing letters. So present continuous tense changed into past continuous tense. See the next example. Sundar said to Ravi, I was playing a cricket match at this time yesterday. So in the reported speech is in which tense? The reported speech in past continuous tense. So while you are changing into indirect speech, you changed past continuous tense into past perfect tense. So how could you change? Here the reporting verb is said to. So automatically you should change the said to into told. So Sundar told Ravi that he had been. So I was playing is changed into he had been playing. He had been playing a cricket match. At this time changed into at that time. At that time, yesterday is changed into the previous day. So you have to change like this manner. See one more example. He said she had eaten it all. Which tense? Past perfect. So how could you change? He said that she had eaten it all. I already told you, if in the reported speech in past perfect, you no need to change while you are changing into indirect speech. So he said that she had eaten it all. Students, I believe you understand now how to change the direct speech into indirect speech in this particular type. See one more rule. If the direct speech is a statement containing universal truth or habitual truth, or when two events occur at the same time, the tense of the direct speech is not changed. If suppose the reported speech is in universal truth or habitual truth or simultaneous action means you no need to change the tense. நம்ம previous examples வந்து tense மாறும்னு பார்த்தோம். tense வந்து எங்க மாறாது அப்படின்னா universal reported speech வந்து universal truth இருந்தாவோ இல்ல habitual truth what we are following in our regular life or two actions happening at the same time, that is simultaneous actions இருந்தா you no need to change the tense of the reported speech. See the example here. He said God rules and governs all things. So it is called as universal truth. So how could you change? He said that God rules and governs all things. You in indirect speech also you can reproduce the same tense. See one more example. I said to my friend, I usually get up early in the morning. It is our own habitual truth. So how could you change? I told my friend that I usually get up early in the morning. He said to me, my father was reading newspaper while my mother was cooking. So how could you change? He told me that. Here you changed the personal pronoun. His father was reading newspaper while his mother was cooking. So you no need to change the tenses. If the direct speech in direct speech, the reported speech is having universal truth, habitual truth, or simultaneous actions. See one more rule. Modal auxiliaries must, ought to, and should do not normally change. If the reported speech is containing the modal auxiliaries must, ought to, and should, while you changing into indirect speech, you no need to change. You can use the same modal auxiliaries, but must in indirect speech is changed into would have to or had to. If you like to change, you can use, instead of must, you can use would have to or had to, or else you can keep the same must in the indirect speech also. To avoid confusion, must in statement need not to be changed. Students, understand one thing. Modal auxiliaries must start ஆயிருந்தது, must, ought to, and should to start ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா you no need to change the verb. அப்படி நீங்கள் மாற்றணும்னு நினச்சிங்கன்னா மஸ்ட்டுக்கு பதிலாக என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணலான்னா would have to or had to யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். இல்லை எனக்கு கன்ஃபியூஷன் ஆகுது அப்படின்னு ஃபீல் பண்ணிங்கன்னா you can use the same modal auxiliaries must in the indirect speech also. While you are using must, it is used in indirect speech in sentence that expresses natural laws and general truths. So always must conveys the meaning, conveys and expresses the natural laws and general truths. What is the general truth? What is the natural law we should abide? So it conveys, always it conveys the natural laws and general truths. See the example here. If the blood get any worse, we must leave the house, he said. So how could you change? Must equal to will have to. Instead of must we can use will have to. He said that if the bloods got any worse, they would have to leave the house. So instead of must we are using here would have to. So he said that if the bloods got any worse, they would have to leave the house. See another example. She said I must go. So how could you change? She said that she must go. You can use in like the sentences like this manner, or else she said that she had to go. Both the things are correct. You can use must, or else you can use she had to. Whatever it may be, both the format is correct. See the next example. The teacher said to the boys, you must not cross the road against red signal. So the teacher told the boys that they must not cross the road against red signal. So you can use the must itself. Students, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். எங்கே வந்து டென்ஸ் ஆஃப் த டைரக்ட் ஸ்பீச் மாறாது. மஸ்ட் அண்ட் ஆட் டு ஷுட் ஆக்சிலரிஸ் வரும்போது நம்ம எப்படி இன்டைரக்ட் ஸ்பீச்சுக்கு மாற்றணும் அப்படிங்கிறது இப்போ உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக ஃபஸ்ட்டு டைப் வந்து ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இப்போ உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். யூ கீப் ஆன் ப்ராக்டிஸ் until you get a clear idea. Next we are going to see the second type, questions. So in this type we have in questions we have two types. The first one, inverted questions. Inverted question is nothing but the reported speech starts with the helping verb. See here, reported speech starts with the following helping verb: am, is, or, was, were, to, did, does, has, have, had, shall, should, will, would, can, would, may, might, must, need, etc. So the reported speech starts with the helping verb is called inverted questions. So what is the rule we need to follow? See here, rules: remove the question word and replace the suitable subject and change the question into statement. First what we need to follow? First we remove the question and change the question and use the suitable subject and change the question into statement. First எடுத்தோடனே நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிடணும், question word remove பண்ணிட்டு question என்னவா மாற்றணும், statement-ஆ மாற்றணும். Second rule, set or set, the reporting verb set or set to change it into asked or inquired. So the reporting verb set or set to change it into asked or inquired. Then the conjunction word, in this type we need to use if or whether. So the conjunction word if or whether. Remove commas, quotation marks and question marks. This rule is common in all the 4 types. See here example. The bookseller said to me, do you want to buy these books? So do you want to buy these books belong to which type? It is in present tense. So while we changed into indirect speech, you have to change into past tense. So how could you change? The bookseller asked me. Instead of said to, you are using asked, reporting verb asked. The bookseller asked me. If, the conjunction we are using if, you is changed into, we just remove the question word do and we have to choose the suitable subject. So here you is changed into I. If I wanted to, so want is changed into wanted, past tense. Present tense changed into past tense. If I wanted to buy those books, these books பதிலா நீங்க என்ன மாத்தணும், those books. So present tense இருக்கிறத எதுக்கு மாத்துறீங்க, past tenseக்கு மாத்துறீங்க. question word remove பண்றீங்க. subject போட்டு question என்னவா மாத்துறீங்க, statement-ஆ மாத்துறீங்க. The bookseller asked me if I wanted to buy those books. See the next example. The teacher said to Kavita, did you bring your textbook? So how could you change? The teacher asked Kavita whether you is changed into C, because in the reporting verb is Kavita. So you are using you is changed into she. So she had brought her textbook. So did you bring your textbook belongs to past tense. So we are changing, in while you are changing indirect speech, you have to use the past perfect. So here we are using she had brought her textbook. Mohana asked her friend, is the program today or tomorrow? So how could you change? Mohana asked her friend whether the program was on the day or the next. Kumar said to the teacher, am I want to attend the online class today? Kumar asked the teacher if he wanted to attend the online class that day. So you have to change the sentences like this manner. So you just remove the helping verbs and add the suitable subject and change the question into statement. Students, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு இந்த first type தெளிவா புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Now we are going to see the second type. The second type is specific question. Specific questions means nothing but the following question starts with the WH words. What, when, where, who, which, how. So அப்போ reported speech எதில் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிருக்கும் அப்படின்னா WH questionல ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிருக்கும். So WH questionல ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா it is called the specific question. So what is the rules we need to follow? See here the reporting verb said or said to change it into asked, and the conjunction we need to use the same question word. So in the WH question even நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிக்கணும், conjunction-ஆ யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும். Then change of personal pronoun, tense and special words. Remove commas, quotation marks and question marks. Now we are going to see the example here. The teacher said to Harim, why do you come to school late every day? So see here the reported speech starts with the question word why. So how could you change? The teacher asked Harim, we need to use the same question word as conjunction. So why he came to school late every day. Why do you come to school late every day is present tense. So we changed it into past tense. Why he came to school late every day. See another example. The doctor said to the patient, for how many days are you suffering from fever? So in the direct speech containing present continuous tense. So we changed it into past continuous tense. So how could we change? The doctor asked the patient for how many days he was suffering from fever. He said to me, how can I go to Ooty from here? So present tense. He asked me how he could go to Ooty from there. Past tense. Asha said to me, which magazine do you read regularly? Asha asked me which magazine I read regularly. Students, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இந்த கொஸ்டினில் 2 டைப்ஸுங்கிறது inverted questions and specific question. Inverted question is nothing but the reported speech starts with the helping verb, and the specific question the reported speech starts with the WH question. So what are all the rules you need to follow while you are changing direct speech into indirect speech in this particular type? இப்போ உங்களுக்கு இந்த ரெண்டு டைப்புமே தெளிவாக புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Students, thank you for listening this video. In the next video we will see the remaining 2 types. Okay students, thank you. Have a nice day.